Hello there, this is Andrew, just doing uh, calibration or um, a setup video. So I've got the pieces all set up. This is what I was talking about last time, was the difference in color. Most of those pieces look pretty similar, but that king is just so much different. Same thing with the white. I mean, the king is slightly different, but it's not as drastic as that, the Black King. As far as quality, you can see, so that's a pretty good seal. That's not that one. You can see it. There's a gap right there, where some of them are quite flush, but others not so much. And there's even a few of them where the adhesive is showing, but it does not affect gameplay whatsoever. So here is the setup. Way they have it in the instructions is to so A1 obviously is always so white side. Way you know it's white is the controls are actually going to go to your right on the back row. So then A1 and so on. So we'll hit the power button. First thing you'll notice is a beep. You can't hear it, but the motor is actually going right now. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like it's going to go calibrate. Sometimes it doesn't do it, like if it's been calibrated recently. Okay, looks like it's not going to calibrate. So sometimes when it does calibrate, you'll see the piece kind of snap back. But right now it's good. So one thing I did notice is these have to be pretty center, like perfectly centered. What will happen is the piece will go side, and if it gets too close, not that one, I usually see it with the queen. Let's say it goes through. It might be when the motor's going and it's pulling the piece, but oftentimes I see this queen being taken to the captured area. So as far as setup, obviously you're going to set up the pieces in the normal fashion. When you capture, one thing I do want to point out is the mechanism will put pieces every square, and they'll kind of alternate. So we'll have one piece, two piece, 3, 4, or something similar to that. They really do need to be centered between this border and this border, so about right there. Same thing on our side. So if I'm going to be taking a piece and I'm going to be capturing it, so it needs to be centered. If it's off to the side, it could bring the piece with, or the on screen will say it's not centered, so you have to manually center it. But we'll get into more of that later. So I am going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to turn on the app and make sure that's connected to the app, and then we'll kind of go through that in a second. Okay, so I have it connected to the app. It was just as simple as there's a scan button, and all it does is it takes the Bluetooth. So there we go, it's calibrating now, and it's just recentering things. although the recentering is slightly off, you can see there, the app will flash a screen, and I'll try to put a screenshot of what I'm talking about, but it'll be a square or a board like this, and then there'll be pieces. So if this piece is off, it'll start flashing on screen to say you need to put it back in the center. So it looks like the black is done. The arm is moving, so it's now calibrating those. And it only does this snap when it's actually calibrating. In the middle of a game, I don't see this kind of movement. So the mode I am playing is called Sculpture mode, and that's where you've got all of the popular matches that had taken place at championships and whatnot. And this one, can't remember what it is. I'll look it up next time we pause. Because once the calibration finishes, one thing I noticed is really quick is it'll go through the black, it'll come over here to the white, and then it'll do the last row once more, and then the arm will travel back to the corner. Okay, looks like it's done. So I'll go to the other screen and check to see if there are any off-centered pieces that it's saying that are off-centered, and then I'll take a screenshot of that, and also get what sculpture I'm using. Okay. So it's already beginning the game. This is Adams versus Davidson, 1984, I believe. It's just the first game in the list of games they have. So one thing I do will put on the screen is before now is when it did the flashing, there were several pieces that I had to move and center manually. So it's going ahead and playing. I've got this set on fast for the arm. Just with these preset games, I feel like the speed is a little slow when you do normal or slow. Fast is even a little bit slow. But it does give you a chance to actually study the moves. Okay. So I've played this one before. I do like how it handles the castling. So next up, I believe Black Bishop eventually is going to take the White Bishop. So one thing to point out is, so that was where it almost had taken the queen. I've seen it take the queen to the back row a couple times. One thing to point out is you must take the opponent piece before moving your piece. It's so much different. Normally I would take a piece or move the piece and then take the opponent piece and put it to the side. It is reverse. So might be going into the cycle every once in a while. So there are some software issues that I believe they're going to fix in the beta testing. Yep. So it is in a cycle. I'll pause the video, do the screenshot of the app. Something is off center to where it's not accepting that. Okay. So in sculpture mode, it wasn't popping up with something needing to be recentered. I've not had very much luck right now with sculpture mode. At one point or another, it will just get in a major cycle. So it won't even play now. It might be because I'm out of the app, but a lot of times that's not the piece that it would get stuck on. Eventually, I believe, which piece was it? One of the pieces, so that piece was taken, and I believe there was the black took the pawn that was right here, or right there. But then eventually the knight cleared and this bishop was captured, and this is the one that would go through and take the queen. It gets stuck, and it would take it all the way over here, and this is where it would get stuck. So it's interesting that happened this time. So I'm actually going to put these back really quick, see if we can get it to reset. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this match. Possibly. I do hear the arm moving again. And the arm does, it's a very, very low hum. You can hardly hear it, but it kind of reminds me of like a printer. Okay, so now somehow it got through the game. And last time I played this, I don't know what, or so the white pawn was right there, the black took that one. Okay, so the bishop went that way. I don't know why it went that way. Normally it goes up by the queen. Let's see if we can get any further. Okay, it's back in the cycle. I'll go ahead and pause the video and stop the game so it can reset. Okay, so I manually shut off the board, shut off the app, turn back on the board, and now it's going to reset itself. And it might not pull the pieces back just because I shut off the board. Okay, I'll go ahead and reset the board and we'll look at one other thing for this video. Okay, now I'm playing Stockfish. This is one against the computer. I'm white, the computer is black, and I'm playing at a level 1. So it's my turn. So it did beep. That means that I've taken a piece, but it did not like it. Okay, I had to go get another phone because the game would not play while I was in another app to record. So we can see also now see the app. So I'm going to play Stockfish. Let's go. So white level 1. Okay, so it had gotten stuck in a cycle, so I am having it reset itself. I don't see it reset completely very often, so this is kind of cool to watch. One thing I did notice that every time a piece moves, it goes to the border of the square. So even if it was right here, you saw how it goes to, it does a backward C. So we'll let that go, and the next video, what I'll do is, so this is not how it came out of the box. I actually had an issue with a funky sound. I will discuss that in the next video, where I'll show the inside of the board, and the result, the problem and the solution. I actually worked with Edward, and another gentleman. They were with Software and Hardware, and they got it back together. And it was a simple fix. It just, I believe, I'll explain more about that. But yeah, here is the setup of the board with the calibration and a couple things on the app. So thanks. We'll see you in the next video.